Welcome back into another Dragon Ball Super card game video, and today I'm going to go through a pretty quick video or slash deck, I should say. Just something I've been working on, and as well as just having fun with in my spare time. Sorry for the lack of videos. It's probably going to be that for the remaining of the month into next month, just simply because I got a lot of stuff going on. But today I do want to feature again a deck I've been playing. It's Black Xeno Goku that features the Black Putine engine, and originally I wanted to make this work with the Deborah engine as well as the leader, and I kind of did. The previous video that I may have put out was really good. I mean, I really love that deck. I hope people give that a chance and as well as play test it. But for this one, it's more of taking advantage of some of the Black Saiyan leader stuff that you can do, and as an alternative to Gogeta Xeno and as well as Super God Trunks, that type of thing. And I've really loved this leader for a while. I've had it on the channel a couple times, and I'm gonna have it again. If you do like the deck itself, definitely leave a like, or if you want to see anything else, leave a comment. But if we do get to 50 likes or more, I will make sure to put out a gameplay video and explaining my thought process, and as well as go against like a pretty decent deck, I'm sure. So enough talking, let's look at the deck real quick. And of course you can follow along in the description. So enough talking, let's go ahead and take a look at the deck real quick. And of course you can follow along in the description below. And if you want any of the cards, of course you can order it with my TCG Play link below, or from Mystic TCG if you want sealed product. So you might be asking, why this leader? Well, one, Super Saiyan God Trunks and as well as Gogeta Xeno are pretty easy to build. Like most, if not all, of the decks have been pretty similar between less than 10 cards. And the reason why I wanted to do this is because this leader does awaken pretty early because of the burst. You burst, you get take advantage of obviously Overrealm, Koitsukai, this guy, which is a free unison that plays out for one marker. Obviously the Kais, and I previously also did play the Time Agent Vegeta and Trunks, but I didn't think they really were needed. But I did think that the combination between Super Saiyan Gotenks, the free unison that gains a marker and then you +2 after you pitch a card, you use the swap technique, or talk technique, the skill, in order to swap out and then minus a marker, and then after you minus a marker you have 2 markers after you swing with it, of course, because if you lose a marker after you gain one, you lose the skills and as well as the power gains, that type of thing. You use the Dark King Mechikabura to use Empower, and then as long as you have at least two markers, you gain those 2 markers when you play it. So you pay 1 for this guy, it's free for Super Saiyan Gotenks, and then now you have a 4 marker 20k on turn 1 or 2, which is really hard to get rid of, believe it or not. And that really enables you to use a swap engine, which is kind of the whole point. And I'm going to take a look at the newest cards with the Putine engine, which is why I named it the way I did with the title, because it just, like, there's so many more targets that we can use now. But the whole point of the deck is to, again, awaken early, use the Putine engine to swamp and attack as many times as you can. And we did throw in the Gogeta package just a little bit, just because it's just so good and it's so easy to put in. This probably should be at 4. I think I forgot to update this, but this should be at 4. So that way the combo between the super combo and as well as the Son Goku is going to be pretty good to use, and then just use it from the warp for the Super Saiyan 3 Gogeta thwarting. Not to mention that this should probably be at 3 as well, because the Putine engine is basically this, where you play out the Gotenks for free, you play out Dark King Mechikabura for 1, you gain the markers, and then you use swap to use the auto to warp something on their field 3 or less, and then this girl gains, or looks at the top 3, and then you gain a Evil Wizard, Dark Demon Realm, or Black Demon God. There's a lot of words there, which is the Deborah here, the Putine, which is probably the best target that you can get. The second best target is going to be the other Putine, which is just broken. Obviously the Demigra, and then herself. Of course, she can get the Mechikabura unison and as well as the Gotenks. You don't really want the Gotenks, so just throw it in the bottom. Or if you do get the Gotenks, her cost, which is really the downside of the swap, but makes sense because when you add swap to black, which is already kind of aggro for a lot of decks, it makes sense to punish you to bottom deck a card. And the perfect targets for this are the mill targets like Gotenks, and as well as Time Agent Trunks and Vegeta if you do play those cards. So basically, again, you play out the unisons for free or for 1, and then you use the Putine to look up the top 3 for your targets, and then you swap right after that into Putine, which basically she is either a 1 cost, 3 cost that stays on the field and lets you draw 1. So as soon as she's played, you get a token, you swing, and then it's a 25k swing after you draw using the activate battle, and then you swing again as a 15k, and you kind of do that over and over. And you combine that with the thing that I talk about in the Deborah deck profile, where you can use this on their turn at 5 or less life, or for 2 if you're crazy. And then you can use the same token to block, and then use her activate battle on their turn, restand it, and then the battle fizzles basically because the token is gone using her effect. Of course, we have other stuff like 2 power bursts to get back Putine if you don't see one, or a Koitsukai or a fighting spirit, but most of these things you want in the drop except for Putine as well as the Kai, which Kai, if you mill it out, you get to play for free anyway. We do have a time regulator in this version. Originally, I didn't play this. I had something else. I think I played some other overrun. I don't remember. I also played the 2 cost Bardock, which I didn't really like, but that's another story. But the time regulator does basically, since you can only have 1 Truce Fighting Spirit after the errata on the field, you might as well just send one to the warp. And basically, when you get on your swing turn, your awakened leader has a double strike. So you swing, you go to 4, and then you use either Manjibu Extinction Attack, or you use a unison beforehand to pay 1, or you just use a Vegeta Super Combo to go to at least 25k double strike, which is a lot for a lot of different decks. And the rest is pretty much self-explanatory. I'm not going to break that down for you because most of these decks, especially black decks, kind of play themselves. I would say try the list out, play it, have some fun with it, and then come back to me. Obviously, one of the things I will point out is that Pan is definitely needed. She's won me so many games and saved me so many games. And the only thing I will say is that I think this deck can beat pretty much any deck you can throw at it, especially going best of 3. I think the roughest matchups are the Black Mirror. So what happens in the Black Mirror, whether it's Gogeta Xeno or Gogeta or Super Saiyan God Trunks, whatever's playing the Gogeta package or something black, it is kind of hard to keep up with other decks because this is just a smidge slower, and it doesn't have enough defense or different techs like the other decks do. Oh, I just remembered what I played instead. So instead of the time regulator, I played the new 5-drop Trunks, which is also a really good card. Some other cards to consider, especially in a best of 3 environment or best of 3 pre-side or best of 1 pre-side, is Super Kamehameha, which has come up quite a bit because you're going to 4 pretty quickly, especially with true fighting and as well as your leader effect and them attacking. Most of the time you'll be at 4. And Oceanus and Topo, those are kind of cards that are really annoying against this deck. So using Super Kamehameha against those is just fantastic. You also have Revive Ravager. I took it out of this list because you don't play that many things that mill itself out or plays itself after you mill out, and you don't really gain that much advantage of playing things with Overwhelm. And one thing I didn't mention with Overwhelm, the Beyond All Limits does get back the 3-drop Putine. So the funny thing is that for 1 energy, what you're doing is basically putting out the Putine, you're getting out the free unisons as well as the sticky unison. And then if they KO it or send it to warp, which doesn't really matter for either one, you can use Beyond All Limits in order to get back the Putine, play out the 1-drop, look at the top 3, use a unison for spirit boost, and then play it out again. So now you have a 25k swing, 15k swing, your leader swing, and then unison if you can, and then a 30k swing plus thwarting. So you can kind of see where I'm going. But anyway, Revive Ravager is great. If I was playing that, I would play more mill targets and maybe another Champa, and as well as ultimate minus Powerball. That's also good for removal and just giving your leader a boost for that 25k or that double strike. If we take a look at some of the newer cards that are now a swap target, which is probably another reason why some of the stuff got bought out recently. But basically, if you have a skillless battle card in hand or in play, you get to play this from hand, and then you get to use the activate main. It's probably not gonna be great in that deck or this deck specifically, but still. And then this is also a Dark Over Realm 3, but you can play it for 3. And then when it's placed for your hand, you play up to 2 Deeping Realm Shoulder tokens, which is great for the other 3-drop Putine as well. So there's always that. And then this guy is my favorite card personally, because you're playing out the 3-drop in general to play out a token, or you can play this new 3-drop to play out tokens. And then for 1, you now have 4 or less barrier removal, basically, because all you really need is a skillless battle card and removing from the game. And what's funny, I also didn't mention, is that you can swing with these battle cards, or these skillless battle cards that have 5k, put a super combo or a Kai on it, and now it's a 15k attack. So you can get some use out of it. You can now get something that warps 4 or less with critical for 1. And yeah, I mean, that's what more do you want? It's also this salsa that gives a little bit more consistency for looking at the top 5. That is it. Hopefully you enjoyed this deck profile, and as well as just a little bit of a different vibe to it, and as well as pacing. But if you did enjoy, definitely go ahead and subscribe if you're new, like, dislike, and check out the links below. We are still running our circuit for free online through webcam. So there's always that. I'll see you in the next one.